as our players are now ready at the table to initiate this duel. All right, that's a good start here. We've got Salamangreat Circle, somewhat recently put back to 3 as well. Going to get the Gazelle from the deck here and see what he can line us up for in this matchup here. Centurion is a deck that I think has not seen as much popularity as I thought it would. It really is just one of those one-card combo, style on your opponent and set up a potential Calamity lock.
Yeah, it felt like it was quite a bit of hype at YCS Bologna, and then there were a few players in the top cut with it, and then it kind of disappeared somewhat. I haven't really heard people talking about it more. Maybe it didn't get its time in the sun until because it got taken away by the fire decks.
This is really interesting, by the way. I'm noticing that the combo line that we've gone for in Salamangreat doesn't appear to be quite standard, as we're actually summoning Wicked.
Yeah, I've not seen this card. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because it searches Cyber's monsters.
Cyber's tuner specifically.
Oh, does it search a tuner specifically? What's the tuner in?
I guess we'll find out in just a moment here. That's going to be an Ash Blossom, however, on the new chain.
Yeah, I've not seen anybody synchro summon in Salamangreat, although I think it does actually. Does it have synchro monsters?
They have a new tuner now, and they do have some new synchro support. I'm not sure if we're actually playing it. We'll see if that ends up coming down here, as this Ash Blossom is going to prevent a little bit of gameplay. But we're going to keep playing and link into Balinks. We've already got our field spell searched out. And I guess from here you can just do Splash Mage, or actually Princess. Okay, lovely. Gotta incorporate this in a fire deck, of course. Not the fire deck people were expecting, but it is powerful in its own right, even in Salamangreat.
Always makes you think when someone summons something, you're like, oh wait, that's not a Cyber's monster, that's not a fire monster. You have to go and check again all of the cards what they actually say, whether you're allowed to summon particular types of monsters and whether you've locked yourself into something.
All right, relinking up into the Pyro Phoenix here. And yeah, utilizing that field spell to create a name for itself, and also gets the search out for the Salamangreat Roar.
Yep, very powerful counter trap. Can negate basically anything, a monster effect, spell or trap effect, or card even.
3 back row here and passing on over to Centurions, it looks like. All right, let's see if Cameron can do something about this.
So are we just playing Raw, or do you think we're also playing... Yeah, we are just playing Raw. Okay.
Oh, he's not playing Rage?
No.
Okay.
So that would mean the other traps cards are likely to be bluffs or infinite impermanence.
Infinite Impermanence, I think, is probably the most popular kind of spell and trap you would have in this meta game. So we'll see if we open the important starter in Centurion, which is going to be Primera. Oh, okay, leading with a Pot of Prosperity here.
Let's have a look and see what Cameron can find with his Pot of Prosperity.
Yeah, trying to dig for some kind of non-engine to help with this go second here. But that's going to be an Ash Blossom coming down directly in response. There's no other better option to use it on in this matchup, I think. It's always dangerous to let your opponent see 6 cards deep into their deck.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's very unlikely that, there's going to be a better thing to Ash than the Prosperity itself. I mean, it is always nice to know a bit about what your opponent's doing, but...
Roar on the Primera. That's actually really huge here. Okay, we got the field spell as follow-up. This can... I think it places from the deck, right?
Yeah, it puts a Centurion from your deck into the spell and trap card zone. Do you have to discard a card to do that?
Well, I don't think so. Also, most important part of this field spell is that it does let... Okay, you do have to discard. Yep, there goes the Ash Blossom. Now you can set. The important thing with the field spell as well is it lets you synchro on your opponent's turn, which is kind of like the whole theme of Centurion, is putting these powerful synchros onto the field.
Yeah, is it like when your opponent summons a monster, you get a... Or maybe it's just during the... I think it's when your opponent summons a monster.
All right, we've got Trudea being placed here from the field spell. I'm going to quick read at that to remind ourselves as to how the Centurion deck works here. And Trudea does get to summon itself from the spell and trap zone. It's really cool because that's kind of like the entire point of the deck is special summoning and bringing... Okay, wow, we're actually just going to instantly scoop it up. That is That was a quick
All
little
right,
game.
here we are, and Cameron taking a peek at the hand here, ready to go first and see if we can get something nice set up here. Salamangreat kind of popular for being one of those kind of, you know, 1-2 card combo decks backed up by lots of non-engine. So maybe it isn't really a case of like, can we deal with Calamity? It's maybe just sort of preventing it in the first place is ideally what Felix is going to try and do here.
Yep. I mean, it can be quite. I think the Centurion's quite tricky sometimes to prevent because they have different kind of interactions. Like Ash can't stop so much when the cards set cards to your spell, or they don't set, but they put cards in your spell and trap card zone from your deck rather than searching them directly to your hand. So you can't negate that with Ash.
Yeah, so we're leading with the Emblema, I believe, to go into our Primera, and then Primera from there can get our engine rolling. So a strong start here by Cameron. You always want to see one of these cards going first, so this is pretty decent, and I think quite a good lead so far for this game number 2 here.
Yeah, everything kind of gets you to everything. Once you've got the Primera, you can search the field spell and then get the Trudea, which then puts the, what's the name, Emeth into the spell and trap card zone, and that's all of your Centurion monsters. It's very like compact engine, isn't it? There's really not that many Centurion cards, unlike Salamangreat, when there's about 50 Salamangreat cards you can choose from to put in your deck.
Emmet the 6th, I mean, gosh, I wonder what's happened to Emmet the 5th, 4th, and 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Maybe that will appear one day in the future. Here is the Trudea being placed here. And now back into the deck we go for more combo pieces. And it looks like there just isn't really anything from Felix's hand here being used so far. I think these are really good stopping points, but we'll see if maybe we're waiting to clap back with some sort of field-breaking effect, or if Cameron's actually going to pull off this this combo for us.
It's very cool being able to play level 12 synchros. I think, you know...
It's an obscure number, right?
Yeah, it's not that many decks that have been able to use level 12s in the past, but I suppose Vanadium can also do it now, so...
All right, Prosperity, dig in here, and it doesn't look like we have an answer to that. So let's see what we're revealing off the top here. Okay, this is a little bit off camera right now, but I think we did mention that Solemn Judgment is in the deck. So it might be trying to set up this field here with also that powerful backing of the Solemn. Or just generic non-engine, right? Like you want something here that can stop your opponent from playing because you've got everything you need anyway.
Yeah, once you've got your engine going, then it's always nice to pick up some non-engine. That's one of the beautiful things about Prosperity is if you draw it and you don't have any engine, you can just activate it and try and find some. But then if you do, then you can get all your engine out your deck first and then have a look for some backup.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible card that has been popular for ever since its release, really. Multiple different decks utilizing that ability to just dig deep and without any real major restrictions. You know, not being able to draw for the turn, I suppose, is not too bad for some archetypes. There's not really a lot of draw power in some of them. And here is our 12 being synchro summoned to the field now.
He's going to have to forego a draw here, right?
Yeah, but you're not probably too upset about that, right? Like, you got a nice little pickup off that Prosperity. Didn't quite see what it was, but it must have been something really important as we get our field spell in play as well, which is really important. That's going to be able to let us do more synchro plays on our opponent's turn.
Yeah, we've got 12 points of synchro material.
12 points of synchro material.
12 points. Unless you get a level 12.
All right, 3 back row as well. Really strong here. And also placing the Primera in the spell and trap zone as well. The only thing preventing us is the number of zones that we have for even more power back there. So that's really cool by Cameron, as feeling we can do about this. Lady Debug.
You could activate full... Do you remember Full House?
Full house.
I can't remember if you need 3 face-ups and 2 face-downs, or 2 face-ups.
2 face-ups.
There you go.
Yeah, you could do like cool things where you activate a card and then target your activated cards, and then one of your opponent's face-ups. Lady Debug will be hit by the Infinite Impermanence, which is pretty strong here because there's not really a ton of ways to keep extending from here. Because usually having Salamangreat monster names like specifically on the field is pretty good, because when you link off you can trigger Gazelle. But on resolution here, we are going to use the Primera plus the field spell here, and we'll see what our next line of synchroing is going to be as we create the chain forming the Trudea here, as well as Ghost Bell. That's actually pretty strong here, preventing the revival.
It does feel bad to like throw a ghost spell at your opponent's field when they've already got so much going on, but I guess it's better than your opponent resolving a calamity against you. So
Yeah, I think it's kind of almost doing what it needs to, but then we just go into the Crimson Dragon regardless. So not actually preventing too much. I mean, you might as well Ghost Bell. There's nothing else to really hit here, but this Crimson Dragon is now online. All right, and then Resolution as well, making sure that we don't make this thing miss timing. And there it is! Red Dragon Archfiend Calamity causing an insta-scoop by
Speedroid
Felix.
Terratop is a card I haven't seen put in Salamangreat decks before, but it makes a lot of sense when you get such easy access to a rank 3.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because recently it, obviously came back to 2 on the Forbidden Limited list. So just having, that 2-1 engine allows you to, okay, wow, Ghost Bell coming down here on that spinny. But yeah, rank 3s are a little bit important. And okay, just gonna set one and pass. Wow. Ghost Bell preventing the special summon of the spinny from the graveyard. And it looks like Felix just doesn't have any way to keep playing. So one single back row here. And a dream. Did we even search with a bailing spell? I didn't actually notice. Maybe we've hard drawn the field spell.
Yeah, that's always a sad moment, drawing the field spell, because it's supposed to be one of those, like, it's definitely not a card you would put in your deck if you had to draw it.
Oh, that's huge. Primera, all 3 games. Can't complain about that. Being hit with an infinite impermanence immediately on summon.
Cameron just having to think here. He does have 3 copies of Crossout Designator in his deck, so maybe that's what he was thinking about.
Yeah, Crossout Designator, we talked a little bit about that card earlier, but such a powerful card in this format with people playing so many different hand traps and stuff, and also in mirror matches it obviously has that huge blowout potential as well, hitting the right cards, although don't think Cameron's played too many mirrors today. Got the field spell follow-up, by the way, which is absolutely huge here. I don't think this infinite impermanence actually does anything now because of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice, nice that he remembered to not put his monster in the imperm column. That was the only thing that could go, well, it's an hour monster, it was a... But yeah, it's always a bit sad if you activate imperm and then your opponent just activates the card they were going to search anyway.
One of the worst things that you can do indeed. All right, there's the destruction effect coming out here, removing the bailings from the field and also getting a draw in the process. So yeah, nice little one-for-one trades this deck can offer you here. All right, well, not much else for Felix here. Full field has been completely cleared, and the name of the game here for Cameron is, will he be able to push forward with enough damage? It doesn't look like it. We're just going to go straight to the battle phase and hit for 3,000. It is 3k, right?
I mean, it might be 3-5, actually.
Oh, yeah?
It's a level 12.
Yeah, it
you've
has
got
to
to
be.
have a lot of attack if you're a level 12.
Better be huge. All right, well, Felix does get to fight for another turn here, so that's pretty... it's some sort of redeeming factor here, but Cameron not really setting up much here. Any back row potentially?
Yeah, he's got to have something. I think his deck's packed full of defensive cards. And then he's going to get to put another Centurion back into his spell and trap card zone.
Yeah, passes back here with 2 back row with the Primera locked and loaded for another play on the opponent's turn here. Will of the Salamangreat is activated. It's going to be able to special summon from the hand or graveyard.
That Spinny's going to come out of the graveyard on its second time of trying.
Yeah, so you got the Spinny being brought back from the will, and then you can also normal summon Ghost Spell apparently. 3 is 3, so it does let you go into Stalio.
No synchro summons, unfortunately.
Yeah, not quite yet. Here's the Mirage Stalio activating. This is going to be a little bit of a choke here for Felix. Do we have anything to prevent this? Yeah, it looks like we are going to flip Infinite Impermanence into Crossout.
Into
Crossout for Crossout. Don't you just love these Crossout wars?
There we
Incredible.
go. Crossout can negate itself, right?
Yeah, you can.
Do you, when you play it, do you always make sure that you like declare the card name before you look in your deck? You gotta like declare first for some. Yeah.
Or you can have like an embarrassing moment where you like declare a card that you aren't actually playing.
Like, I'm sure that was in my deck, and then you look in your side deck and think, whoops.
I have genuinely been in a situation where I crossed out declared impermanent. Oh no, I actually don't have that. Whoops. Decided out. Can happen. But not here for Cameron, as we have the exact card that we need for this specific stop on Stalio. But we do still have Spinny in the grave, so we can bring that out.
maybe go for a little bit of link climbing. Remember, Stalio does have a semi-relevant effect in the graveyard. Wow, Ghost Bell as well on Spinny. That is so rough.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the
no.
second Ghost Bell on that Spinny. It's been having a rough time today.
Yeah, Spinny just not catching a break here, and then it looks like we're passing turn, and then we're going to be using the effect here in response, or like in the end phase, to place the Trudea, and from here, we can just do this whole combo and loop again. Just summon out the Primera, and then Primera can place, and then Trudea bring itself out and try and end this duel here.
Yeah, it's got such good recursion. The Centurion deck, you just get a few more monsters back, and then all of a sudden, the same thing happens that happened last turn. Like a lot of decks, they go through their whole deck on the first turn, and they do a lot, like, for example, the plant deck. But in the case of Centurion, it's very, like, conservative with what resources it uses from the deck, and then it just lets you do the same thing again next turn.
Yeah, I think that's like one of like the appeal of this deck for a lot of players, is that it has that very, very consistent, you know, resource loop that allows you to keep going turn after turn as you whittle your opponent down with things like disruption, like that Ghost Bell we just saw, and the infinite impermanence, and then from there you can kind of, yeah, just put yourself in a commanding position to not necessarily end out the game in one turn, but just grind through to enough where your opponent just doesn't have a way to play here. We use the destruction effect to remove the Stalio, but that Balinx is going to be able to protect on resolution. And that is the end of the duel. Okay, great. That